The Blugold Sports Network brings you the pride and passion of UW-Eau Claire athletics, serving the community, the university, and its student athletes. At Blugolds.com, you'll find information on game day activities and every sport at UW-Eau Claire. You can also follow UW-Eau Claire sporting events on Twitter at UWEC Blugolds. Plus, interact with the Director of Athletics for UW-Eau Claire, Dan Schumacher, on Twitter at Dan Schumacher AD. The Blugold Sports Network is a property of UW-Eau Claire in partnership with Clear Channel Media and Entertainment of Eau Claire.
This is the Todd Glaser Show on the Blugold Sports Network. The Todd Glaser Show is broadcasted from Grizzly's Wood-Fired Steaks. Grizzly's is your post-game destination to celebrate the big win. Featuring award-winning wood-fired rotisserie chicken, wood-fired steaks, and a great craft beer lineup. Come on out to Grizzly's, experience it all, the host site of the Todd Glaser Show. Alongside Todd Glaser, the coach of the UW-Eau Claire Blugold football team, the voice of the Blugolds and the Blugold Sports Network, Mike Sullivan.
Welcome to Grizzlies in Eau Claire, our first Todd Glaser post-game show after Game 1 of the 2014 season. And hey, a big thanks to Grizzlies, Mike Sullivan with Coach Todd Glaser and a cast of thousands here. And we'll talk about the game, but I got to say this. I don't know which is tougher, getting that close to a win but not getting the taste, or being this close to that wood-fried steaks and chicken and not being able to have a taste. But
and they're really good.
They are outstanding.
You're missing out if you're not here eating.
Well, come on out. You still got time.
Yeah.
We'll be here for a while. Mm-hmm. All right, Todd Glaser joins us, 22-17. For those of you who haven't heard, the Blugolds came up short this afternoon at St. Thomas. And Todd, we've talked many times about how moral victories don't go in the left-hand column, but your young men played well today.
Yeah, we thought, they played well. We just need to clean up some of the mistakes we had. A little bit inconsistent. We got to convert when we're in the red zone and give up third and longs. But overall, they played hard. We just got to come up with the victory. They're going to make a couple more plays than we did.
All right, let's talk about the early part of the game. We're not going to go through the whole thing play by play, but obviously that early drive, an impressive drive, and you get down into the red zone, get down inside the 5, couldn't punch it in. Actually, shoulda, woulda, coulda, but punched it in even before the fumble.
Yeah, it's we got new running backs, so it's Joel's retired or his eligibility's done, so we got new guys coming in. We had a freshman playing there. Riley's a sophomore. Clint Larson, who's usually playing there, has been banged up a little bit, so we weren't doing real good there. We just need to lower our pad level and get it in the end zone, and we're going to work on that, obviously. And I think that's when you got young backs, that's the one thing they don't want to do is lower their shoulder and just stick it up in there sometimes.
We'll talk about the middle of the game in the moment. We've talked about the start. Let's talk about the end. There was no question who had the momentum. Everybody in that crowd knew it. Everybody on the field knew it. How did you feel on the sidelines when you got the score, recovered the onside kick?
Well, the onside kick it probably lasted for about 5 minutes, it seemed like. So it was back and forth. But I think our kids never quit. And it was a hot day. And the thing about us is we're practicing at, every day we practice at 5:50. That's when we start a.m. in the morning. So they're not used to that sun. But I thought our kids kept their composure and kept fighting, kept scrapping. And we were able to get the ball back, and offense moved the ball down. And so that's what we're proud of. They never quit.
So how many alarm clocks do you have?
We got quite a few.
Okay. And
quite a few.
And who turns it off?
Well, we got like a little calling system. A couple of our guys are heavy sleepers, so we got to call them to make sure they're up out of bed.
All right. Todd Glaser with us. We're at Grizzlies in Eau Claire, and we appreciate all the sponsors on this first year of the Blugold Sports Network. This is our maiden voyage, and we're giving it a shot, and we thank Todd and the other members of the coaching staff and Mark Munger, who we'll talk to later, for coming by, and the fans are great here. The 22-17 final. Mark Munger came one attempt away from a school record. He had 53 attempts or so, and hit on over 50% of them, had over 200 yards, did all he could, and you said it on the post game at the stadium, he's a battler.
He is, he competes, and that's what we want out of our quarterback. He's a good leader. As a defensive guy, I cringe when we see how many times we're throwing the football, but it's like dink and dunk, and so we need to continue to do that, but he's a competitor. The one thing I'll tell you, though, Sully, you said he was 5'11". If he's 5'11", I said on the post game, I'm 7 foot.
And I'm 8'2".
Yeah.
But he plays well. And we talked about the offense before the season started, and we talked with Matt about it, your offensive coordinator. And I like the way you described it. You think of it kind of as an option offense, only with passing instead of running for the most part.
Yeah, Matt Kender's done a great job. It's something new for us that we're doing. It's a ball control. Basically when you're looking at all those bubble screens and the screens that we're doing on the perimeter, it's like an outside run, and that's the way we look at it.
Now they had the bubble screen fairly well defended, but you adjusted, I thought.
Yeah, but they have to defend it by taking a backer out. Cleans up the box a little bit so we can run the football. There's, when people move here, we're going to move there and that type of stuff. So we're excited about the offense. We still have a long ways to go. We can't make some of the mental mistakes we were making. I know we're trying to play some. We got some younger kids playing. Like Corey, he had 16 receptions today for his school record. He's a freshman. He's learning his way a little bit.
And we're going to talk to Mark later on about, you want to spread it around. Cummings had a good game. Some other guys too. Clint, obviously, when he gets healthy, will be a factor in the receiving game. But to have a favorite receiver is pretty good, to have a go-to guy.
Yeah, and I think, Mark does a good job. That's the one thing. He's smart. He takes after his mom that way. That he does a great job of taking what they're going to give him. And we need to continue to do that. If they're going to take our flat route away, we're going to take the curl, those type of things. And they weren't taking Corey away, and he hit him a lot.
Todd Glaser with us. 5:50 a.m. at Carson Park, right?
At Carson Park, yeah.
How did that evolve, and what are your thoughts about it?
Well, it evolved a little bit. We want, the kids are here for school, and we were running into too many class conflicts, and we want to make sure they're ready for class. So we went to the morning last year, and when we told them that we're practicing at 5:50, they're all like, "Huh? What do you mean 5:50?"
There's one of those in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. But it's evolved a little bit. The kids enjoy it because we're done by 7:15. We practice on Friday. Got a little bit of it from Oregon. They practice it in the morning. That's some of your optimal time. You're most awake at 8 o'clock or whatever. That's the best time for your body. So it evolved that way, and the kids have embraced it a little bit. And it's tough on them though. They got to get up. We got to get the carpool. They get there. We haven't had problems with kids being late or anything like that, and that's what's probably the most impressive thing.
Todd Glaser with us. It's the Todd Glaser Show. It's our first Todd Glaser Show at Grizzly's, and we appreciate Grizzly's and Milwaukee Burger and all of the sponsors that in the first year of this Blugold Sports Network. It's been a lot of fun, and it's going to continue to be. We're talking about the game this afternoon, and Todd Glaser, who came right up on the post-game show, too, I always appreciate that, because 22-17, had the chance at the end and the pick. I mean, you give him credit for that, but so many things went right today. The defense, the second half, gives up a drive. First possession of the second half, they drive. After that, nothing. I don't know how many yards they had, but it wasn't many.
Yeah, and Coach Cummings, we brought him back this year. He played linebacker for us. Now he looks like he can play offensive guard for us, but he's done a great job of
and he reaches for his beverage as you say that.
Exactly. He's had a lot of the steaks and chickens here. But he's done a great job with the defense. The kids have embraced his energy, and we need to continue to get better. I think we're very fortunate to have him here, and the kids are excited about playing for him.
Well, energy and also, just an attitude, and nothing against previous administration, but I mean, this is a guy whose motor never quit. And I had the privilege of riding the bus with you, heard his pregame. I mean, there are guys that can get fired up and in the right way, and I think he had them fired up the right way today.
Yeah, he did, and we need to continue to do that. The kids are playing hard, and they're running to the football. I think probably the biggest thing about the game is after I got done with your show is we came down in the locker room and we had some kids in tears, and they don't like to lose. And I think for as a coach, that's probably the most important thing, is that everyone's saying close, good job, patting everybody on the back, but it's still a loss. And we need to learn from this loss and get better and get ready for St. John's.
All right, improve from game 1 to game 2. We are going to take a break here for just a moment on the Todd Glaser Show at Grizzly's and be back with more of our first Todd Glaser Show right after this.
Grizzlies is proud to support Blugold's football. Join them for great post-game specials after home games and the coaches show before every away game. Grizzlies features award-winning wood-fired rotisserie chicken, wood-fired steaks, and a great craft beer lineup. Enjoy a Northwoods atmosphere with a friendly staff and great food. Don't want a long wait? Try their call-ahead seating. Call them at 715-832-6481 and let them know you're on the way. Grizzlies, next to the Oakwood Mall, proud supporter of Blugold's football.
Hey folks, it's the Gordy's Guru here. Gordy's County Market is a proud supporter of UW-Eau Claire Blugold football. With every smash of the pads and every touchdown pass caught, we know that success takes determination, hard work, and lots of time. That's why we want to take this moment and say, go get them, Blugolds. Stay healthy, stay true, and have a great season. This message brought to you by your friends at Gordy's County Market with 3 convenient grocery and gas locations in Eau Claire. Gordy's County Market, pleased to back Blugold athletes, coaches, and teams.
Welcome back to Grizzlies for the Todd Glaser Show. Thanks to Todd for coming on after a tough loss up in St. Paul to St. Thomas. The 11th ranked team in the country, by the way, 22-17 the final. In fact, I think it's like our first 6 opponents are all ranked among the top 25 in the country, so a tough schedule. But we have with us now a young man who I've known for a few years from playing, of course, high school football and hockey. And Mark Bunger, I remember a year ago, 92 degrees, you came up here, had the chance to start, and they talk about paying your dues. Part of paying your dues is holding the clipboard and backing up, but part of it, too, is that first taste of competition that maybe it didn't go the way you wanted last year, but what did you take away from that last year, and what did the rest of the guys take away?
You know, last year we came out a little dull compared to this year where, we didn't play our game. We got down right away, and we kind of just tumbled and went downhill from there. But this year, they scored right away, but we stuck in there. We knew we could play with them. As the game rolled on, we felt even more confident. Our confidence just kept growing as the game went on, and we just knew that we were going to make some plays. They had to come.
The game a year ago, too, Joel Sweeney goes down with an injury after scoring a touchdown on the first play of the second quarter, and again, the response was, oh no, we lost Sweeney. This year, and we all know we need Clint Larson, but he goes down, and again, the way you responded, I thought, to that made a big difference.
Yeah, for sure. Losing Clint obviously is going to hurt, but, the younger guys really stepped up their first varsity game for some of them, for Jake Nice. He had a great game, ran the ball really well. O-line made some great holes for him, so it's always nice to get that and get those younger guys in there right away. You know what? Fall camp's over. There's time to go now, so it's a big day for him.
Mark Bunger with us. You and Jacobson already seem to have a rapport. I mean, you used Cummings, you used other guys, but he set a school record. I don't even know if you know that. 16 receptions for Jacobson today. Did you feel that he was getting to be your go-to guy?
You know what? It's just the way that we run our offense, really. I think that's the main thing. Cody Gerber and I we came in here together the same year, so that's kind of my go-to guy if you go there. But you know what? I mean, one of their better corners was matched up with him all game, so the other guys had to make plays. Chris Cummings had one heck of a game. Both those guys both at over 100 yards, and Gerber did his job when he needed to, and all 3 of them played really well. Tight ends, running backs, they caught the ball, made plays, but definitely kudos to Corey out there. He had a great game.
Mark Bunger is our guest. 22-17 the final. The game ended not the way we wanted. I'll ask you about the great things you did, Mark, but talk about the last play. First down, and you're looking for Cummings, I think it was again, right?
Yeah, we were just doing it was a fade, so I was trying to back shoulder him because he was pretty much even with the cornerback. And the cornerback made a nice play. I probably wish I would have threw the ball a little more outside rather than where I placed it. But good play by them, and it's tough one. It's a tough way to walk away from the game like that with ending on a play like that.
All right, but what do you and the rest of the players take away from this first game?
I think the main thing is confidence. I mean, we just played a great game against one of the best teams in the nation. I mean, that's huge. Last year they rolled out right all over us and just downhill from there. I think this year it's a new team. We have a lot more energy, we have a lot more confidence. That confidence is really going to keep us in those games and help us have a great season this year.
And pretty good fans, too.
Oh, absolutely.
We had a good showing over there. Seriously.
It was a great show. And during the onside kick, I put my head down because I couldn't watch it. And then everyone started cheering. I was like, oh, here we go. I mean, game's over. But no, of course, we get the ball, and it sounded like it was our home field.
Get out there, 16, you're playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Where did Scrap come from?
Yeah, that's a nickname my dad gave me back when I was younger. I had 2 older brothers, older like 5 and 3 years, something like that. And when we were little, we'd always wrestle, and I'd always try to keep wrestling with the bigger guys, and even trying to wrestle with my dad. We had some home videos of me just running at him, and just from there, just kept carrying on. And he really started it and then carried on. I think Coach Glaze and Kendra even call me Scrap sometimes, so it's kind of fun. It gives me a little smile when they call me it.
Okay, did you ever take Jake down or your dad? Did you ever?
Oh, for sure. I'll take care of my dad anytime he wants to.
All right. Mark Bunger, the excitement, the enthusiasm. It's only one game. It's a loss, but Matt Kendry, your O coordinator, a new defensive coordinator, and Sam Cummings. There's just a good feel around the team this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, offensively, we put up some good numbers. We made some good things. It's just the one thing that killed us was the red zone. But defensively, our defense played great. There's no doubt about that. I mean, that second half, they shut them down all game. Had some nice turnovers. Eric Coleman had a nice pick that they didn't give us, but things like that. The best part about that play was, though, right after that, the next play, Coleman makes a heck of a play. So, he kept his head in the game, and they ended up missing that field goal. We got the ball back anyway. So, things like that, though.
Did you hear about how our announcer went crazy on that interception that they didn't call?
I might have heard about that.
The guy, I don't know how he held it together for as long as he did, but he just went absolutely nuts because they didn't give Homa that interception.
It was frustrating, especially seeing the sideline, but the thing is you just got to move on from that. There's nothing you can do. There's no official replay or anything like that, so you just got to move on and get ready for the next play.
Well, and they showed the replay on the big screen and then cut it off.
Exactly. Home field advantage for you on that one.
Yeah. All right, how do you feel about the 5:50 a.m. wake-up calls?
You know what, it's mixed feelings sometimes. You have a late night study or something like that, and you got to get up and you have a long day ahead of you, but overall it's not that bad. You get in the rhythm. I mean, come week 5, it's just like clockwork. You know exactly what you're doing. The rest of the day off, get a lift in on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Other than that, though, take care of your classes and go to bed early, and then it's really fine. It's not as bad as it sounds.
You've only been back to school for a while. Toughest class this semester, do you know yet?
Probably going to be one of my finance classes, I think. So that'll push me, but I'll be all right.
You're a business major?
Yes, finance major.
So you're going to make $1 million by the time you're 25, 26, right?
That's the plan, exactly. And just like everyone else.
Buy your dad a boat.
Yeah.
All right. Mark, thanks so much. Good job.
Thank you.
Mark Bunger, the quarterback scrap of the Eau Claire Blugold. Great day today for Mark Bunger. Came up short 22-17, but still a good start to this season. And we'll be back with more on the Todd Glaser Show right after this.
Grizzlies is proud to support Blugold's football. Join them for great post-game specials after home games and the coaches show before every away game. Grizzlies features award-winning wood-fired rotisserie chicken, wood-fired steaks, and a great craft beer lineup. Enjoy a Northwoods atmosphere with a friendly staff and great food. Don't want a long wait? Try their call-ahead seating. Call them at 715-832-6481 and let them know you're on the way. Grizzlies, next to the Oakwood Mall, proud supporter of Blugold's football.
Sports fans know about tradition and pride, and here in Western Wisconsin, the Leader Telegram has a proud tradition of valuing local sports coverage. Their dedicated sports staff knows what fans want. The Leader Telegram sports section, in print and online, provides the most comprehensive coverage of local high school and college sports anywhere. Find the scores, the stats, and the stories you need, all in Western Wisconsin's leading paper, the Leader Telegram.
Welcome back to Grizzlies, the home of the best wood-fired chicken and steaks, and I think patty melts. Dan Schumacher had a half a patty melt and then farmed out the second half, but it was awesome. And Teddy Annis I think, ate the rest of Dan's and about 2 others, and he's doing a good job putting a dent in the menu here, but there's still plenty of good stuff on hand. And Keely will take care of you. Kelly, all of them, all of the servers here are fantastic. Well, we appreciate Todd Glaser. We'll close out with him in a moment, but here on the Todd Glaser Show, we want to introduce a guy who's already well known to Blugold fans. As we talked about as being a guy with a motor that never quits when he played. Sam Cummings, welcome aboard as a D coordinator.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be back. I told Coach Glaser before the game today, thanks for bringing me back. I was getting a little emotional. Guys in the box were saying, don't be getting emotional on us before the game now, but it was great to be back. It was a lot of fun out there today.
Well, you told me, I think Thursday or Friday, that you were going to have a tough time calming yourself down and getting your players maybe down a little bit. Did that happen?
Yeah, I think I did a pretty good job with it today. There was times, when things weren't going well, that I had to bring myself down to earth a little bit and understand the role, my new role that I'm in and stuff like that. But, I think our guys did a great job of staying calm when they were moving the ball a little bit. And, there was times where they moving the ball, and then we had an opportunity to get off the field, and we took advantage of the opportunity and got off. So.
We talked about the offense losing Larson and respond. You lose Lidke, put in a rookie in that spot, and he makes a mistake early on, but then adjusts. I thought the defense did a good job of adjusting to that loss and covering up.
Definitely. You know, we got a few guys at each spot. You know, we feel pretty comfortable, you know, with one or two guys deep at each position that we can put anybody in at any given moment and they can get the job done. You know, that was something that we're going to have to learn from is making some mistakes, and we got to be very consistent and trust one another, and that's one thing that we're having a tough time doing right now is understanding the defense and putting it all together and understanding that I got 10 other guys out there with me. I got to do my job, and then we'll get off the field a lot more.
What did you call it? Eye discipline?
Eye discipline. You know, we got to do our 1-11. That's one thing we talk about all the time too. Is that, you know, especially against a team like this that does a bunch of smoke and mirrors and gets their tight end on delays and backs and screens and stuff like that. It's keep my eyes where they need to be, especially when we're playing, you know, some man coverage and stuff like that we need to stay locked into my key and not let anything slip out. So. But
speaking of smoke and mirrors, you're a guy that doesn't believe in it. I mean, you told me, yeah, we'll play aggressive, but not necessarily, you know, bringing the house or disguising blitzes and stuff. I mean, you believe in, I don't know if it's keeping it simple, but just doing things basic.
Right. One thing we talk about on defense all the time is clear minds equal fast feet. You know, so we want to keep it as simple as possible. Shoot, I probably only called 4 or 5 calls today. Try to get our guys in good situations to be able to play fast, physical football and rally around the football and make plays. And it happened majority of the time. We missed a couple times that hurt us, but we are very, very close to being a darn good defense right now. So.
I'll let you go, Sam, and we'll get back to Todd, but you're only, 23 or 24?
29 now. About to be 30 this year, but yeah.
But, you know, the point I'm making is you're not that much older than these guys you're leading out there. What's the secret to getting the authority that you need to do your job?
I mean, I have to be confident every day in the message that I'm sending these guys, and I have to bring energy every single day, and it comes with consistency, I think. You know, I've gotten an opportunity to be around a lot of great coaches by getting to a couple different places since I played here, and I think just bringing passion and energy and keeping it simple, guys feed off of that stuff and learn how to play with an emotion, and that's one thing that we're really creating is some leadership and energy and emotion on this defense. So.
Fantastic. Good job so far,
Thanks
Sam.
for having me, Sully.
Sam Cummings is the defensive coordinator of the Eau Claire Blugolds. Let's bring in Todd Glaser. We're in the final segment of the first Todd Glaser show. Hey, a big thank you. You guys stay quiet. We're going to applaud for you. Dan Schumacher applauded all the coaches and players. Really appreciate all the fans that came out for this first one. And Jimmy Cuskar, producer, who stayed for the whole deal, was going to just, make a cameo appearance and then duck out, but he's wound up stuck here. Todd Glaser's stuck here too, but I appreciate him coming on. I mean, bottom line, Todd, a tough loss, but something you can build on.
Yeah, I think we fix our mistakes and get ready for St. John's. And our non-conference is to get ready for conference. That's what it's always been about. The Tommies are a good team, but we got better teams in our league, and we have to get better. And we have to get better for next week.
Were you surprised by how easily St. John's beat River Falls?
Yeah and no. I don't know what went on with the game, the matchups and things like that, but St. John's is always a good football team, and we're going to have our hands full. And it's going to be totally different than this game, the way they play and the way the Tommies play and the Johnnies play. But I know our coaches have been working hard. They've already started with St. John's, and we'll be ready for them.
What's the key next week?
Well, it's like any other time. You got to convert when you're in the red zone. I think you got to hang on to the football, which I think we did a pretty good job of today. And then you just got to play with a lot of energy. And we need to continue to do that. And we need to continue to get rid of the bad plays and play more consistent. And take advantage. When St. John's makes a mistake, we have to take advantage of it.
And what happens between the lines still comes first, but so much more is going on with Blugold football, and we do have Dan Schumacher here, and he's putting a lot of effort into the trappings that surround Blugold football. Gordy's County Market's going to have a pregame show. There are going to be a lot of people that, the team is going to march in, the band's going to be there. It's going to be an experience.
Well, and it's refreshing to have an AD that's he knows football, and he's on the sidelines.
You sure? Didn't he lose 4 times to Eau Claire?
Yeah, he did. And Teddy is one of his relatives that we played with is sitting right next to him, who beat him. But it's refreshing that way, and I think the kids feed off of that energy too. And they know that he's involved, and it's refreshing.
All right. Todd, thank you so much. Grizzlies, thank you so much. Folks, thank you so much. We made it through the first Todd Glaser show here at Grizzlies. Thank you all for coming. This show will be aired on Sports Radio 1400, as will every Blue Gold game the rest of the 2014 season. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, Zoe.
This is the Todd Glaser Show on the Blugold Sports Network. The Todd Glaser Show is broadcasted from Grizzly's Wood-Fired Steaks. Grizzly's is your post-game destination to celebrate the big win. Featuring award-winning wood-fired rotisserie chicken, wood-fired steaks, and a great craft beer lineup. Come on out to Grizzly's, experience it all, the host site of the Todd Glaser Show. This has been a presentation of the Blugold Sports Network and Clear Channel Media and Entertainment of Eau Claire. For more information on the Blugolds, go to blugolds.com.